Hi friends, welcome to Rock Paper Suburbs. There is something that I hear often from other people, which is, I wish my church had a group like yours. And actually, there is a ministry opportunity that often gets overlooked, but that could be a huge benefit in terms of the growth and the vitality of your worship community. And I know that people feel there is a need for this group because I get phone calls and emails from friends and strangers alike asking me, how did you get this group started and what steps can I take to start a group like this at my church? What am I talking about? It's a young parents group. New moms and new dads are looking for community. They're looking to make friends with other parents and to connect with other people who are in the same phase of life. And they want to be engaged in the community where they're going to be raising their children. And yet traditionally, there haven't been many opportunities for outreach to this very important group. And I know some of you may be at home thinking, young parents group, you're not that young, but I swear 13 years ago when we started the group, I was younger then. We'll get a pancake. And if you are interested in starting a young parents group at your church, or if you're simply curious about how we've kept the group going for over a decade, I'll explain in this video how we got started, the steps to starting a group like this at your worship community, the kinds of activities that we participate in, and how we have met new members who have joined our group over the years. So first off, what would be a motivation in getting a group like this off the ground? Well, if you're anything like me, I was looking for friendship when I became a mom. My husband and I had just moved into our new house, and then 3 weeks later, we had our baby, and we didn't know anyone in our neighborhood. We didn't know anybody in our church. And so it was very important for us to connect with other people and to find a community of like-minded parents with whom we could build friendship and have fellowship. And when we joined our church, when we moved here, we discovered that we fell into a funny category. We were too old for youth group, but our baby wasn't yet old enough to do school-age activities. And so we thought, what better way to reach people in the same demographic as us than to start our own group. Now, before you get started, the first thing you're going to have to do is come up with a name for your group. Some of you are probably very creative and can come up with a great name for your group. My degree is in economics, so I just called it the Young Parents Group. And there were 3 specific parameters for the group that we were envisioning. The first one was that this would be a group for fellowship. We would not have required meeting times or dues or anything that would place a burden of time or resources on a young family. So we really felt that it was important that this group would be primarily for building community. The second parameter was that this would be a group for both moms and dads. When I was growing up, any group for young parents at a church seemed to be geared towards the moms, and there is definitely a need for that. But in a world where the father is sometimes the stay-at-home parent, or where he might be the primary caregiver, or where the parents evenly split the time with the children, we really felt that we needed to have a group that was conducive to building fellowship with mothers and fathers. And third, we really wanted this to be a group that could be for working and stay-at-home parents. We did not want to have a play group during the week that was exclusively for stay-at-home parents, because then that often leaves working parents feeling like there might not be a place for them with the other parents at church. And we really wanted to be as inclusive as possible. So we knew that that meant having events on the weekends or in the evenings, so that regardless of the schedule that you are on, you can find activities that you can participate in. So what are the steps that we took to get the group started? Number 1, you'll want to talk to your pastor or the person in your church who is responsible for giving you the green light. You'll probably have to have a mission statement, an idea of the activities that you'll participate in. You'll need to have an idea of when and where you'll have these activities, and a list of potential members. And if at first you're not sure, try to drum up some interest over the weekends and put together a list of a few people who might be interested in initially joining the group. The second step is to plan the first couple of activities. Have at least 2 organized events that you have on the calendar with a specific time and place so that when you tell people about the group, you have a specific way to invite them to join you. Number 3, spread the word. Ask for an announcement to be made after your service on the weekend, or make sure that your advertisement is in the bulletin if your church has a bulletin, or on the church website or the church Facebook page. And really, a lot of spreading the word at the beginning for me was just doing things the old-fashioned way and going up to people on Sunday after church and introducing myself and inviting them to join this new group. Another way that my husband and I met new people was by going to pre-Jordan classes, because our church baptizes children as infants. And so the new parents and their babies would be at these pre-Jordan classes to prepare for baptism. And my husband and I would go and speak to the families, introduce ourselves, and hand out a flyer with information about our group. And that was actually a way that we did end up hearing from a lot of people, because it does help for people to see you face to face. One of the keys at the beginning is to start off small and not get burned out. And I cannot take credit for this advice. My pastor gave me the very specific advice not to take on too much at the beginning, because you don't want to be really enthusiastic at the beginning and get burned out and then the group fizzles out. The important thing is to think about longevity. If you want the group to last, take on a couple of activities at the beginning that you know you can handle, especially when the group is small. And then once you have new members who can help plan things, then that is really the time to take on new activities and think about growing the group in size and scope. If there is a lesson that I have learned that I would love to share today, it's that it's important to temper your expectations and be prepared for a little bit of rejection. I know this might sound funny for a church group, but you will have some people who simply are not interested. Some people may just feel that they're too busy. And one of the hurdles that you'll have to overcome, which is something that I faced many times, is that when people first hear about your group, they're going to assume that it is a group for stay-at-home parents. And since so many parents work full-time nowadays, you might have to take some time to make it known to people that this is a group not just for stay-at-home parents, but also for working parents. Another important lesson, especially if you're really enthusiastic, is to make sure that your enthusiasm does not burn out the other members of the group. So if there is something that another organization at church already takes care of, let that other group handle it. For example, our ladies group plans the Easter egg hunt at our church, and so I always just let them handle that. It's very important in your enthusiasm, especially at the beginning, not to take on too much on behalf of your other members, who probably as new parents already feel like they have a lot on their plate. Now, the scope and purpose of a young parents group is going to vary from church to church. So it's really up to the unique needs of your worship community, what you want the group to be. But if you're looking for ideas, I will give you a rundown of some of the activities that we've done over the years. And keep in mind, we haven't done all of these activities all at once. We've had many opportunities to engage in lots of different activities: social, spiritual, and service. So I'll give you an example of some of the activities that we've engaged our members in, and that has included weekend potluck dinners, picnics at the park. We've done field trips to the trampoline park or museums. We've done pumpkin picking, apple picking, daytime playgroups at people's houses or in the church hall, meetups at playgrounds, parties for Christmas or All Saints Day. We've done a prayer group in the evenings for the moms. We've done Zoom prayer groups for couples, cookie exchanges, mom's night out at restaurants, dad's night out at a restaurant or by a bonfire. We've pooled our resources to make food for the homeless shelter or to collect canned goods for the food pantry, and we've collected baby items for moms in need. We've also done a prayer ministry for the newly baptized children, where each child who's baptized gets assigned someone specific to pray for them. And we've also done a form of an Elizabeth ministry, where we've prayed for people who are expecting a baby or for people who are hoping to adopt. Needless to say, every church and every denomination are different, so some of the things that I've mentioned may not be relevant to your specific community, but I hope that your main takeaway is that there are so many opportunities to engage young families. For our family personally, it's been a wonderful way to meet other people and to be engaged in the community. And it's been a blessing to watch the kids and other families grow up around us as well. And I'm curious, do you have a group like this at your church, or are you thinking about starting one? If so, share your experiences here. I'd love to hear from you. Let me know about your thoughts and ideas. And if you have questions, please leave them in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe, because we're going to be talking about all kinds of related topics here. We're going to be talking about growing a family, raising a family, building community. I encourage you to stay in touch. I love when families can encourage one another. And if you're looking to start a group like this in your community, I wish you all the best.